Hello, this is Victor, and in the next video I want to explain how to do wet blending by doing the fur, the pelt that is at the back of this man. So I will explain how to do also the pelt without using dry brush. So I will do all this pelt by using the techniques of wet blending and also washes and then highlights, but without doing without using dry brush in that case. Why I don't want to use dry brush? Because I have the feeling that sometimes it's giving a very rough, and it looks like more like rock finishing than the shiny that I want for this pelt. So the first thing I will do, I want to use a pelt that will be dark, almost black in the middle, and I will go to white to the extremes. So what I will start is by applying a gray that is going to be the middle tone. I will use downstone gray. You apply it quite wet one. As you see, I will apply it that is quite wet. You can use retardant, but I will do all this exercise without using retardant at any moment, just by using water to thin the paints and to help on these transitions. So I will first paint. As you see, I will paint the full pelt using this down gray. Okay, all over the place. So I will paint everything at this point. And I will start doing first the middle darker. And to do the middle much darker, I will use directly black. You see, I keep it quite wet, all this stuff. And now I will take black and I will start applying this at the core at the middle. So I will start first doing a straight line from top to bottom. As you see, the paint, first I will do a straight line and then I will start moving it out. As the first layer is still wet, you will see that the transition is going to be quite natural. Then I want to make very black line in the middle, so I will keep applying the black in the middle, straight line, and then I will keep making the gradient to the sides. That way I can have a very nice transition. You see, I'm using quite a thick brush. You don't need a lot of detail when you do that. If you want even darker, I will do another line in the middle with the dark color, with the black. Okay, and you will see that because it's very wet, it will diffuminate to the sides, so it will keep making the transition to the sides. I want the center to be black, almost black. This way I insist so much with the black in the middle, and now I start applying this more to the sides. If you have the feeling that it's becoming too clear, you can apply a little bit more black, and so you see I take a little bit more of the black, take black, and you will keep. This is a way to do a transition, a nice transition with brush. And you see the transition going to be. Now what I'm going to do is I want to go to white to the extremes. So I can use directly white in that case. I will use I can use palette, witch flash, or I can use white. Both colors will work for that. Are clear enough. See this palette flash I have. And now what I will do is I will first apply this color very to the sides, and I will blend this as well with the light gray. See, the transition is working perfectly. Can do the same here, and this is why the first layer have to be very wet. You can use retardant, but you see I can do this without any retardant at this moment on the paint, just by making it almost very thin by using water. Now I'm not thinning the white anymore, I'm just applying the white here in the extreme. I want that the sides white and the middle to be black. Okay, and this is how the technique of wet blending works. It's a way to make a transition with brush, with a standard brush, that is smooth between the colors. And this is working better than trying to do it the same by dry brush. Dry brush will give a very rough finishing, and sometimes, depending what is the mixture of the color, will give a very dirt finishing. So this is a way to do a transition from very black at the middle to white to the sides. Now it's a matter of balancing between the three colors, how much you want. You can put a little bit more water on there if you want to balance a little bit more. I can do a little bit more here, try to make the transition softer in the places that I think it's too strong, so I can add white gray here, make this part softer, because later on we are going to apply some washes to pop up the texture. But at that point, this is quite nicely done. Okay, I'm quite happy. Maybe I will take just as a final touch, because I want a real dark line in the middle. So I will take with this, and I will do a line in the middle going down. Okay, and then this will work. This is I get inspired this by a picture that I will show later on. I will show also the picture of the pelt I'm inspired of. So this is how I think I will leave it like that. I like it how it's looking like. And now we have to wait until it's completely dry, because I applied quite wet paint, so quite thin. I need to wait a little bit that it's completely dry to start applying the other layers. Now what I'm going to share with at the end of the video, I'm going to share with you other color combinations that I did to do the pelts. So this is one that I wanted to share with you, and let's wait until it's dry to do the next layer. So now the paint job is completely dry, you can see here, with all the transitions. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to use Nude oil to do a very soft wash. It's going to be heavier in the middle and very soft on the sides. I will use a detail brush, so I will thin it even a little bit with water, and I will start applying, but have to be very thin and spread it very, very well. So just to pop up the texture. Okay, as you see, I apply everywhere. This will help in making the texture of this part. Here we can make it heavier. It will darken it a little bit, the work we did before, but I think it makes sense to do that to make all the texture visible. Later on we are going to clean, we are going to do a highlight, so but try to be very soft. If you see that some areas are too, take some water and try to take the wash out of that area. So you see, you do this, now the texture of the pelt is completely visible, and it's not, the transition is still very smooth. It darkened a little bit everything, so this is normal, but this is how it's looking like. I think it's still working very well, and now we have to let it dry. I think the best when you do this, to avoid that wash is dripping down, I will let it dry, trying to put it, for example, we will put a support here and we'll try to put it like that, as horizontal as I can. In that way, the paint will not, by gravity, the wash will not drip down and will go into the crevices. So this is what I'm going to do now. I leave it lying horizontal here, and I will connect later to do the final touch. So this is how it's looking like once the wash is completely dry. Now the next thing that I want to do, this is a little bit time consuming, but I think it's worth it to do it in that way. I will first start with white here at the extreme, and I will paint hair by hair, and some of them. No, you don't need to do them all, but this will make much in lighter and clear, and we will more to white this part of the hair. That was the first intention when I was applying white here. So I will apply, you see, I do just strokes on some of the hairs instead of doing dry brush, I prefer to do it in that way. It's more control, it's slower, but with a little bit of control of the brush and a little bit of passion, I think the final result is, I like it more, at least from my point of view. So I will do here some of them, you see, and then don't be too much concerned if it's not uniform. Normally the fur of animal is not a uniform color. We'll have some brights, we have some areas that are much lighter than others. So this is what I'm going to do. I will repeat the same on the other side. You see, I start with one point. Here what is key is that you have a nice tip for your brush, a thin brush, and a lot of passion. There is not much trick to explain here, it's just I go and I pinpoint some of the hairs that are more visible. It's important that you avoid when you see that you take that the brush is having to dry paint, water the brush, clean it, and start again. So I will try to be at least symmetrical with the other side, so I will go with the white to the top. Okay, and here, in case you detect that there is no texture in some parts, what I will do is do some strokes to simulate the texture. So this is how it will look like. And now I will take a light gray. This can be administratum gray. And what I will do with that one is there are two things that I want to do. First, you see here that there is this fold. I will try to emphasize and highlight the fold. That is, if you see, normally the hair has some bright. So this will help to simulate that the fold is reflecting a little bit of the light, and to show some of the, you see, I will do another one here, for example. Right. and I will follow next to the white area. I will apply some highlights with this light gray. So just some of the hairs. With the same objective to make the texture of the fur more visible. This is much time consuming, as I said, that dry brush, but I think it's giving much natural, better natural look than directly a dry brush. So you see, and then here, for example, this fold, I will try to highlight just the top of the fold going up. Right, and here at this one, I will emphasize a little bit more this one here at the extreme. Here is another one. And this will be, so I will give this finish at that point. I think it's giving a very nice look of the fur. So here I wanted to do a better shot of how it's looking like the fur. I think it's looking very nice, very natural. I like a lot to how the texture is captured and the transition of the colors. So here you see one example that I did on camera. Now I'm going to show you other examples that I did for the same unit. Here we have one which have a very thin fur. Let me see if we can focus better. You see the fur, the texture of the fur is very thin. You cannot do the highlight that I did fur by hair by hair. But I work a lot. The transition of the colors was done in the same following the same way, and as well the washes were followed the same process. The big difference is that I emphasize more the washes here at the top where we have the big folds, and then I paint. I just did the highlights on here on the head where we are lacking some texture. But as you can see, the texture is very nice capture and it's giving very nice look. Another following the same process but with different color scheme. This one, as you see here, what I try to simulate in the middle, these white strokes, is to simulate, because there are some furs that in the black they have like white hair. So this is what I try to simulate here. You see working a lot with grays and a little bit of brown in that case. The transitions and all the transitions were done in the same way, and as well the washes. Here another example of brown. So this is just doing transitions with the brown, and I did white blending to do the transitions from the dark brown to the white. And then I did, here the difference is that I did two washes, one of dark brown in the middle, and then one with seraphim sepia more at the sides. So you see as well, I highlight the white hairs hair by hair, and I did also some highlights hair by hair in the middle. It's giving very nice fur. And then I did some that are more monochrome. This one is brown. It's just one layer of brown, two layers of wash, and then the highlights that you see here. And I all did as well hair by hair, trying to point here the folds. You see I went almost to orange. These folds here as well, and other some. So this is a very nice touch. So you can play with the colors. You have to look at the different options. And this one is a gray cloak. I cloak with some highlights with light gray, and all the washes were done with non-oil. I guess I think here I also did two washes. So another that I didn't want to transition. So you see here all the different examples. Let's see if I can make a nice comparison of them all. So we have the gray, the one that I paint now, the brown, another gray, another brown, and so I wanted to practice some techniques, and I wanted to make different furs for each one. So this is finishing this tutorial on, if you remember, I started doing some wet blending to do the transitions, then some washes and some highlights. So I hope you find it useful. If you want some more details, please just let me know. I will see what I can do. But this is, I think, it's quite detailed what I did on the tutorial. I hope you find useful and interesting. So thanks a lot for watching this video. Please like if you like it, subscribe if you're not subscribed. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you again later. Bye.